Awesome. Slav, thanks for meeting with us today, brother.
No problem, brother.
Awesome to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I appreciate your time. So just starting off, obviously, with the King of the Ring coming up into this month. Obviously, Russian background, eh?
Russian background, was born in Russia, born and raised. Come here when I was 6 years old. And yeah, Kiwi on the outside, Russian on the inside.
I like that, bro. Do you feel like when you were fighting in the ring that you were fighting with your culture and for your, obviously, your country as well?
Somewhat. I guess I lost a lot of it because I come here when I was quite young. You know, I still have some family back there, and obviously the roots, and I learned a bit about my culture. I still speak the language, you know, at home, and you know, Mum still makes all the Russian food for me and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess sort of grew out of it. I've only been back once, and yeah, just that's unfortunate that I haven't been back more and learned about it. But something that maybe is on the agenda for when I. Yeah, but later on, take the kids back and try and teach them maybe when not so much trouble in the world as well. So.
Well, now I know that you're Russian, I understand where the elbows come from, but also with leading up into your first King of the Ring, was it 2013 you said?
2013, yep. There's a poster back there of the first one, so that was the first Cruiserweight weight. Very busy year for Cruiserweights that year. There was some of the old school boys like, you know, Jan and Tolik, Carl Gallagher, Jamie Eads, Pati Afoa, and then also, you know, T.Y. Williams, who ended up winning that one, as you know, as a mate of his. But yeah, there's a real stacked year and exciting for the first weight. So obviously, Cruiserweights sort of stuck in between the heavyweight power, and then, you know, got the middleweight speed and sort of combines for quite an exciting show.
I mean, yeah, that's probably why it's one of the best weights to watch, eh?
Yeah, it's real fast, and like I said, you've got the knockout power there. You know, there's a lot of boys that are coming down from some, you know, 95 kgs or whatnot, and then you've got some of those super fit boys that they're just walking around at 85. So yeah, when that collides, you know, you're gonna have an exciting show. What's
it like? Obviously, you have 3 fights in one night. What does it feel like as opposed to having the one fight that you're used to then fighting 3 times in one night? That must be hectic, bro.
Yeah, well, you gotta. Well, I've been in 3 King of the Rings. I've only won the last one, so I've only got to experience the 3 fights in one night, one time. But you can't look past the first fight. You know, you just got to focus on the first fight. You got to win that one. You know, unless you get through that, there's no more fighting for you. And I learned that twice. You know, and I told you about these experiences, one of a head clash with Jay Meads, and the other one, you know, calling out the greatest fighter of our time, Israel Adesanya. So, but the third fight, I think I also won that before I even got to the ring. You know, I won the title before I got to the ring, just because I prepared like I had nothing to lose, and yeah, left it all out there in every single fight, and yeah, 3 fights in, had my hands raised.
Man, what an achievement. And what was it like also that you were saying how you had to fight Izzy? You're obviously best mates, and you were telling me briefly before, traveling China, fighting together. Is it the worst thing you come across as a fighter when you got to fight one of the players?
It's not that comfortable, no. And yeah, like I said, so we travelled around and fought around China. We fought here on the New Zealand vs China shows, and we, you know, we were in camp numerous times, half a dozen times before we actually got into camp for this King in the Ring. So. Personally, I knew what he was capable of. I knew he was very special, and you know, we sort of assumed that we probably won't get paired up until the final fight. Yeah, unfortunately, unlucky for me, John Olomu was picking out the lucky draw that night, and he picked up me and Izzy first fight. So yeah, you know, Izzy's very talented, and he was very talented back then. Just remarkable speed, and you know, the way he changes his angles and stuff. So I was. You know, as a friend, very proud of what he's achieved, and I guess as an opponent of the night, you know, grateful for the opportunity to go 3 rounds with, you know, such a figure, considering what he's accomplished today, and I'm sure he's got many more fights up his sleeve, and he's more accomplishments that he's going to tick off.
Man, that's exciting. So you've done 3, won the last one, from someone who's obviously had 40 or 45 fights now?
41 fights.
41
and done. Yeah.
41 and done, okay. So keep mumsy happy at home.
Yeah,
41 and done.
That's it, I think so, yeah.
What was it like winning King of the Ring? And for anyone that's up and coming, for the boys that are going to be fighting this month, any tips and tricks that you'd give them prepping themselves for the fight?
Yeah, and I did mention to you before, so 2017 was quite a sad year for me. My father passed away, diagnosed with cancer, leukemia. So I watched his road, you know, his struggle, and it was quite sad. And you know, especially at the start of the year, seeing him sort of just degrade and just get sort of eaten alive by this sickness, and I sort of used that as my motivation and my push in the gym. So that was really cool because I took myself to the to the deep depths of dark hell through all my through that camp and that training, and I think that really, like I knew I won the belt before I even got to the stadium, So that was you need to find your why you want to fight. You want to something that's going to push you and drive you. If you're fighting for your family, or if you've got a cause that you're fighting for, and you come up against someone who's just doing it for the likes, or just likes to have a fight, 9 out of 10 times the person's going to beat you. So you got to have something to push you further when you get deep in the trenches.
Sorry to hear about your father. And one thing I love that you told me briefly before was that you came out to a song that was played at his tangi as well. Is that correct?
That's it.
Man, that's not inspiring in itself, man. I would have come out and I don't think I could have done that, man. That's great.
So it felt like that was probably like the last time that he was in my corner. And I remember I actually sent a photo of him to Ana in his funeral song before the fight, before the show, and I said, hey, play this when I walk out for the final. So I was confident that I was going to come out and win it. And then when it happened, he was obviously watching over me, and that's why I guess King of the Ring's extra special for me. Obviously, it's a special award to win. It's so hard to win 3 fights in one night. You just need so much, not just fitness and mentality, but also a bit of a sprinkle of luck to get there. But then also to have my father, and so I guess in some sense the last time he cornered me for the fight. So it's always going to have a special place in my heart.
Also, when you won the King of the Ring, how did that change opportunities moving forward, and did it open up any doors as well?
Well, I think the 86 weight came in a bit later. So there was a few other weights, the 100 kg, the 75 and whatnot, and so it became just the golden prize in New Zealand to win. So everyone was gunning for that title. For me, when I won it, I was very fortunate. There was a few people in the crowd, and also thanks to Jason Suddy, I had an opportunity to fight in Connecticut, New York. So that was awesome. So that was for a world title, Lion promotion world title, against a fella called Chip. Unfortunately, it didn't go my way on the night. It's quite tough to travel that far and fight one of their homeboys, but we went 5 rounds. We trained for that, and that was an awesome experience, awesome opportunity. Fought for world title, came second, I guess. But yeah, absolutely. And as you look at a lot of the other people in the King of the Ring that won the King of the Ring, and just how that amplified their careers, and they've just taken into some special places and bigger fights and whatnot, and just I guess making bigger names. Yeah, I think it's also like it's quite a privilege, right, to win this, because when you look at the board of the people that have won it, there's some special names, some of the biggest names in New Zealand. So when you get put up with those people on that board, I guess you can sort of wear your shoulders wider and puff up your chest a bit more, and just you deserve that respect.
100%.
You've
on the pedestal you deserve, because I mean, if you're fighting 8 of the best in the country to get to that last, that's just
hectic.
It's crazy, hectic
stuff. Yeah, man, awesome. This is just stuck in my mind. When that confetti comes flying down, you got your hands raised. It's just a feeling you'll never forget. So I hope you guys are training hard and find your purpose, find your why, and get that gold.
Yeah, so during the 8-man brother, especially the one that you obviously won in the 3 fights, was there any time you were hurt and you sort of thought like, how am I going to get through this? And if you did think that, how did you get through it?
Yeah, well, I think that the one that I won, just through my training, like I said, like my dad, he got cancer, leukemia, passed away that year. So I saw him go through all his chemo and all that sort of stuff, and it was just, I just had a vision of his face, just lifeless. At one point, going through all his medication stuff, and just whenever I sort of got to a point where I was tired or hurt or whatever, I just used that image to just get past. So I can't recall feeling hurt or tired, because I'll just dig and dig and dig.
It feels like with your old man losing him, like you said, you use that to get you through everything. It's like you almost had like him over you, and it's like a superpower that nothing was stopping.
It was just like he went through something that not by choice, and it just looked like he was struggling and suffering so much. So for me to want to win something and go into somewhere and push myself, I think you can't compare. This is going deep, eh? I thought it was...
This is raw. I didn't think this would happen. Oh, this has been mad, bro. Thank you for sharing this, man. And now we've got the magic piece here as well. Another question we wanted to ask is, obviously on the Joe Rogan podcast and things like that, everyone speaks about manifesting, a lot of breath work, visualizing, I guess, what you're going to do before doing it. Did you do those sorts of things before winning your King of the Ring, or was it even a thing back then? Because it's more of a modern day thing where everyone's getting into those sorts of things.
I think that's probably one thing that I lacked in my younger days, and that one thing that I probably recommend that all fighters do is obviously the recovery works and stuff like that, the manifesting, the breath works and all that sort of stuff. Like now for my last fight, that was a big part of my camp. The recovery, the ice baths, the saunas, just the breathing and that. But back in the days, it just wasn't around.
It was more of a just man up and just get in there. That's it. There was no real ice baths.
I remember my first 10 fights, man. There was no diet, bro. Like cutting weight was literally just don't eat food. So just run and don't eat food. So you just it used to be. I guess the boys used to be tougher, like they because all these little things are they do make you better, but they make you comfortable too.
They soften you up
back in the days, we used to be just every single training, is just go for fucking 100. Yeah. And then when you got to cut weight, just stop eating and
just starve yourself.
But obviously wasn't the healthiest, but we
it worked.
We worked, man, done the trick. But for the King of the Ring for this one, in some sense, I was actually coming off the couch, because I didn't fight for about a year and a half before that. So and then like I said, so my father passed away, and then I took some time off, went overseas. So there's actually a photo of me when I'm completely out of shape. I started living the good life. I think maybe, just not in the right headspace or whatnot. So when the King of the Ring got called out, I was like, sweet, I'm doing it. And probably not in the best physical condition.
What was your training period from off the couch to winning the one in
12 weeks?
12 weeks, wow.
12 weeks. But I think mentally it was probably my most, I was probably the most fittest mentally. I just feel like, anyone that I could have faced that night, I could have beat. And I think like I said, I won that fight before I even got in the ring, because you just visualize it over and over again. And every time you're in the gym, you're just pushing harder and harder. And so I think a lot of fights do get won before you get to the event, you know what I mean? So you just gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta have your whys, and just tick all the boxes. And
all right, guys, I want to win the next bout next year. I'll start visualizing it now. Where you get in there.
but even we now I have a thing where I go to the stadium the day of the fight. Never used to do it, but I always do it now, and I just just rehearse my walk out to the ring, jump in there, just feel the energy. And
just so when you come in, you're all just zoned in, tunnel vision.
That's
not
exactly
getting too caught up in
for my last fight, I was just walking in there. I was like, "Fuck, I've been here. I've done it." And so, and then it's a pretty cool feeling when you visualize something, and then it just comes out exactly as you thought about it. So
now I see why that's the last one and done.
Well, I've got it's the kids. I think even this last camp, just taking away so much time. From them, from the
6 months or 3 years old, those are hectic ages, so it would have been a lot.
You want to be there for that too, bro. I've got a responsibility to be there for them now, and I feel like if I miss this part, it's not.
It's crazy what you had taken for advantage when you didn't have kids, and when you have them, because my boy's 4 now too, and there's many things I want to do, but it's like, do I take away time from him, or have him doing this and this, and then me taking time out for myself? You almost feel selfish to a degree.
Yeah, and I think, so, and by the time they get to our age when it's like, oh, they got mates and they're going to start running away, then at that point, 40, well,
they pop bellies by then.
Mike Tyson fucking crippling you out to the ring sort of thing. So I think it's a good finish, man. It was, it's a good fight, man, and thank all the people I got to thank. And on to the next now, brother. New hobby. Cool, man.
Brother. I appreciate your time. Lovely to meet you and share the space with you, bro. Really appreciate it.